Hello, my name is Brandon, and my story is The Three Halloween Gourds. One dark and stormy night, there were three vegetables sitting in a garden. The garden sat on top of a hill. The wind grew stronger and blew the vegetables down the hill into an old, run-down factory. The factory oozed with toxic waste. All three vegetables rolled into the waste. Then, all was silent. One of the vegetables was walking out of the ooze. It kept walking until it reached the foot of the hill. The other vegetables climbed out of the ooze and kept going until they reached their first gourd. They fell asleep and woke up the next day, not remembering what happened the previous day. 2 years later, the vegetables were up and walking. The first gourd was named Squashy. The smartest of the three, he was also the leader. He was tall and skinny. He was very kind, too. The second gourd was named Gordon. He was very silly, but he could be rude. He tried to be funny because he was very small. The third gourd was named Plumpkin. He was big, tall, and very chubby. He was clumsy, but he meant well. The date was October 31st, 2013. The gourds were all 23 in vegetable years. They were happy and satisfied with their lives. What a nice day, Squashy said. I wish we had something to do, though, Gordon moaned. I want something to eat, Plumpkin said, his stomach grumbling. We haven't eaten since breakfast. We'll eat lunch later, Squashy told Plumpkin. We have a bigger problem. What is it? Gordon asked. Something's coming down the street, Squashy replied. Two children were walking down the street. There are monsters that are going to eat us, Gordon yelled. Don't be silly, Squashy told Gordon. I've seen those before. Squashy told the others. What did they eat? Plumpkin asked. I'm not sure, Squashy replied. But I've heard that they do horrible things to gourds this time of year. What did they do? Gordon asked. They cut us open and scoop out our insides. Then they put candles inside of us. After that, they put us on display, Squashy answered in a frightened voice. I think I'll skip lunch now, Plumpkin said. I have a suggestion, Squashy whispered. Let's jump into that bush so those creatures can't find us. They all leaped into a nearby bush and overheard the children's conversation. What are you going to be for Halloween? The girl asked. I'm going to be a pumpkin, the boy replied. That thing is going to turn into a pumpkin, Gordon screamed in horror. The vegetables grew more fearful as the children neared. They waited for the children to pass. Squashy peeked out of the bush to see that the children were long gone. They're gone. It's safe now, Squashy said. The gourd stepped out of the bush and rested under the shade of a tree. Phew, that was close, Gordon exclaimed. Can we get a snack now? Plumpkin asked. Hiding in that bush made me hungry. Are you sure, Plumpkin? You ate way more than Squashy and I combined, Gordon teased. Knock it off, Gordon, Squashy scolded. Whatever you say, boss, Gordon said mockingly. Squashy ignored him. Come on, Plumpkin, let's go get you a snack, Squashy told Plumpkin. They headed into their underground burrow to make leaf chips. Squashy is so boring, Gordon muttered to himself. I was just making a joke. He walked over to a large rock and slumped down. He started throwing pebbles at a tree. Then Squashy ran out of the burrow. Pumpkin is missing, Squashy shouted. What happened? Gordon asked. I went in the pantry for a minute to get some leaves, but when I came out, he was gone, Squashy said. Gordon leaned against a tree. A crack opened in the tree and he fell inside. Squashy ran to the tree. He saw that there was a chute leading down into the darkness. I guess I'll have to find both of them now, he thought to himself. He went back into the burrow to search for clues. He got a small flashlight and walked to the area where Plumpkin had disappeared. He turned on the flashlight and found that a large hole had opened up. If that's where my friends are, I'm going in there, he said. He closed his eyes and jumped into the hole. Squashy landed with a thud. He found his friends piled in a heap. He dragged them up the steep tunnel and let them rest. When they woke up, they decided they wouldn't talk about this moment ever again until they were ready to. They had a small celebration for their escape from the children and for Squashy finding them in a tunnel. To this day, the three gourds still wonder about the mysterious Halloween. The end.